Blake Lively might have just done herself in this battle with Justin Baldoni, although she didn't do it intentionally. It was something she said
long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni.
Right, but there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose as far as what the issues are in her battle with Justin Baldoni.
It's really winning this war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The powerful smear machine is still going. But what's really crazy is this new person she hired. We got a lot to discuss.
Well, looks like Blake Lively's lawyer dropped her like a hot potato after Justin Baldoni's team unleashed a fresh batch of damning receipts they clearly didn't see coming. Allegedly, the moment Blake's lawyer got wind of the new evidence about to go public, she bailed faster than Blake could say it ends with us. No attorney wants their reputation tied to a case built on smoke and mirrors, and this one was looking more like a legal illusion than a solid argument.
Blake Lively, too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie.
Blake allegedly didn't just lie to the media and twist facts in her lawsuit. She also reportedly lied to her own lawyer about crucial details, leaving her legal team to face intense pressure from all directions. To make matters worse, Blake allegedly insulted her lawyer, constantly questioned her competence, and made up excuses to avoid paying her. Imagine treating the very person meant to defend you in court like that. Make it make sense. This lawsuit is shaping up to be more dramatic than a badly written soap opera. After Blake filed the lawsuit against Justin and had media giants like the New York Times seemingly backing her, she probably assumed she had the case in the bag. Her attorney, Meryl Koninski, likely believed that too at first. But everything changed once Justin's legal team released a flood of evidence that completely dismantled Blake's accusations. The public quickly realized how misleading the claims were, and both Blake and her husband Ryan Reynolds found themselves facing growing backlash. The tide of public opinion turned sharply against them. Behind the scenes, however, things were even messier. Reportedly, Koninski quit the case after recognizing it was full of glaring inconsistencies and wouldn't stand up in court. Even worse than the weak legal ground, though, was the way Blake allegedly treated her: rude behavior, lack of cooperation, and refusal to pay. At this point, it's not just the case that's crumbling, it's Blake's credibility, too.
William Morris's CEO, Ari Emanuel, made it seem like a moral act of loyalty, like that exists in Hollywood. He heaped praise on Ryan and Blake as soulfully beautiful people, flawless, really. He mocked Baldoni in the process. He said, it's an effed up bad situation with what Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. Now, he said Lively and Reynolds are good people. They've been in the business for decades and have never had any bad press about them. And all the people that work with them like them. Okay, he must not have.
It's no secret at this point. Blake has earned the title of Hollywood's resident mean girl. For some reason, just about everyone who's worked with her seems to have a bizarre or negative story to share. Every old interview that resurfaces shows her making snide remarks or straight-up rude comments, and her career honestly looks like a museum of burned bridges. AT first, when clips of her being mean started gaining traction, her team tried to play it off. They said she was misunderstood, or that she had a quirky sense of humor people just didn't get. Others claimed she was shy, and that sometimes her awkward jokes didn't land. But you can only run with those excuses for so long. Eventually, the truth starts to shine through. Let's be real, Blake isn't some misunderstood sweetheart. She's a grown woman who seems to lack self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And that kind of behavior? You can't mask it forever. Sooner or later, the real you shows up, and people start to see you for who you truly are. And with Blake, that moment has definitely arrived.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you.
Do you like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
How do you even explain that interview where Blake was asked how she'd want fans to approach her about their experiences with SA and DV, something they connected with through Lily's story in the film, and instead of responding with empathy, she made a sarcastic joke about sharing their location. It was tone-deaf and incredibly inappropriate.
I'm going to start with you. Most of us, if we're lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public, we only have a few moments to maybe speak with you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their life. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could, I'm just curious
Just social security number.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm like, are we talking logistics? Are we talking emotional?
Even her co-star couldn't hide his disgust. He rolled his eyes and looked visibly uncomfortable when Blake made that comment. But honestly, what else can you expect from someone who once referred to her co-stars as monkeys and mocked Leighton Meester for being born in prison? Yes, you heard that right. During the Gossip Girl press tour, Blake openly joked about Leighton's background, turning a deeply personal part of her life into a tasteless punchline for laughs.
An article recently saying that Leighton and I were frenemies, and it's
frenemies. Is that the new term, frenemies?
Yeah, we're friends, but we're also enemies. And it's really strange because they always want to pit women against each other. You don't hear about like Penn and Chase hating each other and being jealous and competitive.
I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
A moment by me.
Remember Savannah.
It was another promise was no pet monkey. Yeah. Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them. Come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy.
Your wardrobe? That is important. Very good.
Very important.
This is wardrobe.
This is wardrobe. This was on the return rack. I think it was hers. So I had to go and slip them cash to wear it today.
It wasn't exactly a secret that Leighton Meester was born in prison. She had openly spoken about it multiple times in the past. However, what truly baffled people was Blake Lively's decision to joke about it. Many questioned what gave her the right to make light of something so personal. As more information came to light, it became clear that this wasn't just an isolated incident. Reports revealed that Blake had allegedly been mean to Leighton throughout their time working together on set. The tension between the two actresses was reportedly so intense that other cast members felt pressured to take sides. On screen, Blake and Leighton played best friends, but that dynamic didn't carry over into their real lives. Some insiders believe their feud stemmed from personality differences. Blake was outgoing and assertive, while Leighton was quieter and more reserved. But anyone who watched their joint interviews during press tours could tell that the tension ran deeper than just clashing personalities. Blake's alleged mean girl behavior didn't end with Gossip Girl. Similar patterns reportedly emerged during the production of It Ends With Us. Sources claimed she tried to manipulate other cast members into supporting her whenever conflicts arose, and that she constantly attempted to assert control over the film's creative process. Allegedly, she even tried to take over Justin Baldoni's role as director by pressuring him to change parts of the script. Sometimes, without even informing him, things took a sharp turn when Blake filed an explosive lawsuit against Justin. Immediately, several red flags popped up. One of the most glaring issues was the suspicious timing and tone of a New York Times article published shortly after her legal filing. The piece, titled "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine," came out less than 24 hours after the lawsuit was made public. It raised eyebrows for how in-depth and one-sided it was. Critics began to speculate that Blake had been feeding information to the media well before the lawsuit was filed. How else, they asked, could such a detailed article, fact-checked and published by a major outlet, be released so quickly? It gave the impression that Blake was using media influence to control the narrative and portray Justin as the villain. For many, it was just another example of how far she was allegedly willing to go to maintain control.
Justin Baldoni has spoken out against the New York Times in newly obtained court documents. And I read what happened, so you don't have to. Baldoni has stated that a jury must decide if the New York Times is responsible for its involvement with his ongoing legal battle against Blake Lively. In court documents filed on Friday, March 14th, Justin Baldoni has stated that the New York Times has long presumed itself beyond accountability, not here, and that the New York Times went past merely reporting. He then went on that the New York Times actively vouched for the veracity of its false narrative by publishing Blake Lively's complaint in full, and that the fair report privilege that the New York Times seeks to hide behind does not protect it from liability for maliciously colluding with Lively and her cohort to publish a false and defamatory hit piece about the Wayfarer parties, wrongly casting them as villains and making them scapegoats for Lively's well-publicized media missteps. The New York Times responded in a statement to us, stating that the flaws in the Wayfarer Baldoni case were made clear last week in their own legal filing when they asked the court for yet another opportunity to amend their complaint to try and make it legally sufficient.
Something about it just didn't add up. The New York Times article crossed several ethical lines in journalism. I don't know if you've read it, but from the very first sentence, it felt blatantly biased against Justin. Reading it, you'd think the case had already been tried and that Justin had been found guilty in a court of law. What many people don't realize is that the lawsuit had only been filed hours before the article was published. That's not just irresponsible journalism. It's the creation of a full-blown smear campaign. Ironically, they accused Justin of running one, and if that weren't enough, in its rush to break the story first, the Times didn't even give Justin, his business partner Steve Sarowitz, or Wayfarer Studios the opportunity to respond to the lawsuit. There's a line where bad faith reporting stops being just unethical and starts becoming downright malicious, like the deliberate attempt to destroy someone's career by printing baseless claims with no real context or balance. It's no surprise Justin didn't stay silent. He fired back with a $400 million lawsuit against the New York Times, Blake, and Ryan, claiming they helped publish what he called a defamatory and fabricated piece. And if you think Justin walked away unscathed, think again. The article had a huge impact. Because it came out before most people even knew about the lawsuit, it framed the entire narrative. No matter what Justin said afterward, the damage had been done. It's like shouting someone's guilty from a rooftop before they even get a chance to speak. From that point on, anything they say sounds like a lie, and don't even get me started on Blake's behavior. She's been shady from the beginning. Many of the so-called facts in her lawsuit don't hold up. Why were key parts of her text messages redacted? Why were HR complaints submitted without dates or timestamps? It all screamed selective storytelling, only showing the parts that paint her in a good light and omitting anything that could cast doubt on her narrative.
Dates of these HR complaints? Do you know the dates?
There's no dates. The dates are redacted. The names of the complainants are redacted, except for on one of them, there's an M. And in Blake's original, when she went to Sony, and by the way, they're not to Wayfarer Studios, Justin's company, they're to Sony, the distributor, to their HR department, and there's an M in there, which means at least one of the other ones came around the same time. If it's May, unless it was March, but probably May, same time as.
And wouldn't you know it, it didn't take long for Blake to be exposed. All Justin had to do was upload behind-the-scenes footage and screenshots of text messages, and just like that, Blake's carefully crafted case began falling apart. Now, sources claim Blake's team is in a panic, scrambling to get Justin and his legal team into a room to explore the possibility of a private settlement. After all the damage this legal battle has caused, it seems they've realized they're fighting a losing war. What's left of Blake's legal team allegedly understands that the smart move now is to keep things quiet and settle discreetly. I mean, if your client had been bending the truth and exaggerating since day one, wouldn't you want to retreat too? Maybe even throw in the towel entirely before more is exposed?
I looked through every document, every email, every text message, listened to stories, listened to the history of what he's been through, listen to voice notes, and really try to evaluate, the strength of the defense of the case. And frankly, in this case, the strength of his claims. and like a lawyer is obligated to do, really want to make sure that I go through, as much as possible to really understand what exactly happened, or at least what it seems like happened.
Here's the twist. Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, isn't even entertaining the idea of a settlement. It's not on the table, not up for discussion, and not something they're even willing to consider. And there's a very clear reason why. During a recent appearance on the Town podcast with Matthew Baloney, Friedman broke down exactly why Justin refuses to settle. According to him, the allegations against Justin have caused deep and lasting damage, not just his reputation and finances, but to his mental and emotional well-being, and even to his wife and children. This isn't a publicity stunt or a simple lawsuit that can be wrapped up with a check and a handshake. Too much harm has already been done. Friedman even questioned what amount of money could possibly undo the destruction Blake's accusations have caused. Is there really a price that could fix the trauma Justin and his family have endured? In his eyes, the only way Justin can reclaim his life and sense of justice is by taking this to court, where a jury can hear both sides, weigh the evidence, and determine who's telling the truth and who's abusing their influence to destroy the other's life. At this point, it would actually be more shocking if Blake's lawyer kept pushing forward. Even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, wants no part in this. He's already requested to be removed from all legal matters connected to the case. His message is loud and clear. This isn't my battle, so why am I even in it?
Brian Friedman rips into Ryan Reynolds and his motion to dismiss. I was waiting for Brian Friedman's response to Ryan Reynolds now wanting out of the lawsuit, and we finally got it. Friedman told TMZ Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. He goes on to say his fingerprints have been all over the smear campaign against Justin and the Wayfarer team since day one. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfarer party's claims against him are real and they are serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear on as many sketch shows as he wants and feebly try to make a light of his current situation, but we will not stop until he is held accountable for his actions. I love that Brian Friedman is not afraid to speak his mind, speak the truth, and I love how much he defends Justin Baldoni. Obviously, I know he's Justin's lawyer. He's getting paid probably really good money, but he really goes and fights for Justin. And I agree with every single word that he said.
Do you think Blake Lively will hire a new lawyer to continue her fight against Justin Baldoni? Or is this the end of the road for her legal battle? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't miss our next video for more updates.